It's Sunday, April 28th, 2024. Thanks for joining me today. A lot to talk about. Please make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell notification down below. I've got a list of things I want to talk about today. Printed up some articles, jotted down some notes. Feel free to comment on anything you want to comment on. But I'm going to start with this first article today, coming from the Daily Mail. Rising fury as Wells Fargo, as grandmothers who have lost their life savings to cruel scammers urge lawsuit hit bank to act now. I'm not going to go into the details of this article, but it seems literally daily we keep hearing about these scams that are taking place with these banks. People calling you, asking for information, people giving the information. You really have to be careful out there with all these scams, all these banking scams. And I watched a video the other day, and I'm seeing more of these videos. And they're talking about not the scams at the banks, but the scams that are taking place through YouTube and people who are doing pump and dumps. And it is really, really shocking how evil people can be and how they just prey on people. And you have to be not just careful of the scams with your bank, but the scams right here on social media. People right here on YouTube scamming you. Someone sent me a video, as I said a couple days ago, of people doing pump and dumps on YouTube, selling penny stocks, being paid lots and lots of money to sell certain penny stocks. And they pumped up these penny stocks, or this one penny stock, over $2. Then it went to 2 cents. Everybody, laughed all the way to the bank. And what's interesting is some of these channels, and some of you may be watching them, and I'm not going to sit here and mention them, point fingers. Do your own due diligence, do your own homework, investigate this stuff yourself. But some of these channels are owned by multiple entities. Some of these people that you're watching don't even own their own channels. They're owned by multiple entities. And they're getting paid to rip you off. They're getting paid to sell you rat poison. I know channels out there that for years were trying to sell penny stocks daily. Now what happened to those companies? Are they gone? How many people watched some of these channels daily and bought into these penny stocks? Maybe they spent $50, $500, maybe they spent $5,000 gambling on these penny stocks that went to absolutely zero. Some of these people have no conscience whatsoever, but they'll sit there and they'll tell you how godly, how Christian they are, and they're crying and all this nonsense. But they're always trying to sell you something, and they're getting paid lots of money to do it. Some of these channels optimize their channels. They're buying views. They're buying subs. Some of them have agents. They've turned it. This is a full-on business that they're in. And I want to sit here right now and tell every one of you, I don't have an agent. I don't optimize my channel. I don't buy subs. I don't buy views. I would never tell any of you to buy anything that I don't buy myself, that I don't own, that I don't believe in 100%. Too many of these people, got a taste of the money and have sold out for financial gain. And they will continue to sell you rat poison. Be very, very careful out there, whether you're dealing with your bank and somebody trying to scam you out of your bank account, or somebody to scam you out of a few dollars right here on YouTube or anywhere on social media. I want to thank all of you, because this is 100% real. This is completely organic. I don't buy views, I don't buy subs, I don't sell out, and I want to thank all of you for, allowing this channel to grow. It's 100% organic. I could never imagine being a sellout. So be very, very careful who you're listening to, who you're taking advice from, what you're buying certain things from, certain products from. There is a lot of scammers out there. Shifting gears here, the daily hodl. U.S. national debt surges $273.8 billion in 2 months as billionaire Leon Cooperman warns nation heading towards financial crisis. So, be careful of the gambles, be careful of the rat poison, be careful who you're giving money to. You better be really protecting your money right now. You're going to see more scams out there because of the desperation for the sole purpose of getting your money. You're going to see more people trying to take your money one way or the other. Some think Leon says, some think deficits don't matter, but deficits do matter. I think they will ultimately matter, he says. I think we are heading into a financial crisis in this country. Leon Cooperman. I believe he's 100% right. We've been heading into this crisis for years. You know, too many people think that just because something hasn't happened in a few years, that it's not going to happen. Super bubbles like this take multiple years to inflate, to overinflate. And when they burst, they're going to burst big. Here's another one. Bank failure. Maybe nothing to see here this time. Republic First was the small regional bank in Pennsylvania. Friday evening, the FDIC came in and seized it. And it may be nothing, but it may be something. I would love to know your thoughts on this. Please comment down below. But it is the first bank failure of 2024. Who will be next? I think we're going to see more. And I think that this does mean something. And I would be very, very cautious of leaving all your money, all your assets in a bank, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody I was just watching last night, forgot the channel, said, well, maybe you should just leave your money in 3 different banks. If you think the system is corrupt, if you think the system is decaying, if you think the system is dying, why would you put your money in three different entities of the system? It makes no sense. You should be your own central bank at this point. Here's another one. China dumped $74 billion in U.S. treasuries in 1 year as 2 BRICS nations say they've abandoned dollar and mutual trade. This is very inflationary and nobody's talking about it. But China has decreased its treasury holdings from $849 billion to $775 billion between the beginning of the second quarter of 2023 and the second quarter of 2024. It's the lowest holdings they've held since 2009. This is a big deal. Last quarter, India let go of $1.4 billion in treasuries. Brazil sold $1.2 trillion. Saudi Arabia shed $0.3 billion in treasuries. Russia and China have almost completely stopped using U.S. dollars in mutual trade. And as most of you know, the BRICS nations, more countries are being added to the BRICS nations, and this is going to be a big problem for the United States and the U.S. dollar. The world has seen the weaponization of the U.S. dollar. Here's another one from the Hal Turner Show. Foreign countries have begun pulling their gold from U.S. safekeeping. Why? Well, they've witnessed the United States' forcible seizure of Russia's sovereign funds or sovereign wealth funds. Again, this is weaponization of the system, the SIP system, the U.S. dollar. The world sees us as a den of thieves, ladies and gentlemen, and I hate to say that. We could have done so much good, but all we did was bully ourselves around the world with, hundreds of military bases, weaponizing the U.S. dollar, telling countries, you can't do this, you can't buy from them. If you do this, we're going to take your money. We're not going to allow you to use the SIP system, etc. April 19th, Cameroon withdraws its gold reserves. April 21st, Ghana withdraws its gold reserves. April 22nd, Nigeria withdraws its gold reserves. You're witnessing countries now beginning to insulate themselves from any repercussions of any downturns in the U.S. economy. The world is witnessing the collapse of the U.S. economy, the U.S. financial system, and the U.S. society. The world is witnessing this. They see no leadership here. They see no strength. It is going to continue to get worse. So countries are dumping treasuries and they're getting their gold reserves out of the United States of America now. Really interesting article here today, and this is coming from encouragingangels.org, and it's titled, When You Buy a Stock or Bond, You Don't Own It. Who does? Very, very interesting. And we had this conversation with Bill Holter last summer. You don't own the stock unless you have a physical certificate issued with your name physically inscribed on that certificate. If you don't have that, you don't own the stock. And Bill Holter said the same exact thing. So who owns it? Well, it's Seed & Company. It's spelled C-E-D-E and Company. They're the registered owner. They're a U.S. financial institution that processes and transfers stock. They own 83% of all stocks here in the United States. 17% of stocks are owned by their directly registered holders. You know, people who physically hold these certificates with their names on them, but 83% do not. Seed means to give up power. Isn't that fascinating? Because when you buy a stock, you basically are giving up the power. You don't own it. Just like when you put your money in a bank, you no longer own that money. That is now the property of the bank. So Bill Holter completely 100% right there. Here's one from the Hedge today. If 10-year yields surpass 5%, say hello to QE. Once the 10-year bond yield goes above 10%, the bond market enters especially dangerous territory, the article says. This is going to put the auto market and commercial real estate in the danger zone. I would also add it is going to put the residential housing market in the danger zone. So add that one to the list. If the Fed decides to print money to stimulate borrowing, this will destroy the US dollar, and you will see inflation in America absolutely explode. California Globe, Oracle moving headquarters out of Austin only after moving out of California. Remember, Tesla also laying off a lot of people in Austin. This was one of the hottest housing markets in the United States of America. And when Matt and I were there with Aaron, I could not believe the building boom in Austin, Texas. Now we're seeing layoffs in tech. We're seeing Oracle moving. And this is going to be catastrophic if this continues in Austin. We're already seeing days on market in Austin moving much higher, inventory moving much higher, prices beginning to come down. And so this is going to be a problem. This is the problem. Some of these hot markets were hot because of tech companies moving into their towns. When these companies begin laying off or moving or going out of business, you're going to see the real estate market collapse. And this is what's beginning to happen now in Austin. And some of these hot markets, housing markets across the country, it always works out this way. Some of the hottest markets have the biggest busts. They're in the biggest bubbles, and they become the biggest bust. And remember this in the 2007, 2008 era, right here in Southern California, one of the hottest markets. Arizona, hot market. Las Vegas, really hot market. What happened? They saw some of the biggest losses in the United States of America. Warm today. We're getting back up into the 90s. The last few days, extremely windy. It really cooled down, and all of a sudden, like a switch, not a cloud in the sky, no wind, and it's hot. New York Post, upstate New York DA deletes social media after criticism for cursing out cop over speeding ticket. If you saw this to me, this person right now shouldn't even have a job. This DA, this woman, is driving 20 miles over the speed limit, decides not even to pull over. Can you imagine if you did not pull over for a police officer? She drives all the way home, pulls her car in the garage. This police officer follows her all the way home. Could you imagine if you did this? And she is calling the cop an a-hole. Then she's calling the police chief, trying to pull rank on this officer. This DA, whatever her name is, should be fired immediately for what she did. She should be cited. Unbelievable that there are people out there. We're watching this lawfare take place in the United States, and how some of the people in the legal system just believe that they're immune from having to follow any laws. They can treat a police officer any way they want. They don't have to pull over. They can drive to their house. They can call the police chief. They can just do whatever they want to do. You would be in handcuffs right now. You'd be in a jail cell right now if you did not stop and drove all the way home. You might even have lost your life. But according to this article, this DA, no problem. So we'll see what they do to her. Probably absolutely nothing. Here's another one from the Hedge. New York Home Depot hires guards and dogs to combat aggressive parking lot migrants. I've got to ask, when I see stuff like this, and I've not seen this in person, but it's probably coming to a town near you, where we're going to have armed guards and canines, attack dogs, roaming stores like Home Depot. Where in the world am I living? What country am I in that now when I go to a Home Depot, I got to go get a hammer or a screwdriver? I'm going to be passing armed guards and attack dogs. And that's if I'm not confronted and attacked in the parking lot when I park my car. They said that there's been people with very aggressive behavior in the parking lot. Cars have been broken into. So they're going to do what they have to do. And look, they're going to have to do what they got to do. I get it. But I mean, we're causing these problems. We're allowing these problems to intensify because we're not enforcing our own laws. I mean, it's ridiculous what's going on. But just imagine being in a parking lot, parking your car, and then being confronted aggressively by one of these people. You know, another reason why I hope everybody is training in defensive skills, boxing, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, wrestling, whatever it might be, because you may be getting out of your car and being confronted by an aggressive person. And what are you going to do about it? If there's no attack dogs, if there's no armed guards to protect you, you're on your own. What are you going to do about it? So be training, ladies and gentlemen. Please be training, because we are living in a different world. A world where they're trying to scam you out of your bank accounts. They're trying to scam you on social media, doing pump and dumps. You've got aggressive people in these Home Depot parking lots. Crime is skyrocketing across America, and nobody is going to come to help you. The police are overwhelmed, underfunded, and so you're going to have to take care of yourself. And if you don't know how to do that, you better learn how to do it really, really quick, because you're running out of time. You would hate to be that person tomorrow or today that gets out of their car or is walking into a Home Depot, or they're at the mall, or they're walking down the street from their house, whatever they're doing, and you're confronted. And what are you going to do? You're going to resort back to your training, which is absolutely nothing, and you will be a victim. At some point, I just don't feel sorry for people anymore. You know, I just don't. What have you been doing with your time? What have you been doing with your money? Why are you not investing in yourself? People are always like, what can I do? What's the answer? Give me advice. The advice today is invest in yourself, go get some damn training, and learn how to protect yourself and your family, and stop crying, and stop relying on the police or somebody else to protect you. The people around you, they're just going to take a camera and film you getting your butt beat. That's all that's going to happen. So you can be a victim of that, and you can be on social media getting your butt kicked, and everybody and a million people can watch it, or you can learn how to defend yourself. So maybe invest in yourself. Maybe work a couple extra hours and go take a jiu-jitsu class or a boxing class. Put your money where your mouth is. Start walking the walk. Be a big boy. Be a big girl. Be an example to your kids. Why are your kids not training? I watched another video today of this girl being absolutely brutalized at a school, and the parents are around it, and they're egging it all on. The parents. And this poor girl is on her own. So you cannot, if you think your kids are safe too because the parents are going to step in, or some faculty is going to step in and protect them, you're sadly mistaken. They're probably going to egg it on. So give your kids an advantage. Give your kids a life jacket here, and teach them how to protect themselves. You know, get them into a class with somebody that can train them and teach them. These are skills that they will take throughout their entire lives. Be careful out there, ladies and gentlemen. Watch out for the scams. Watch out for the rat poison. Watch out for these evil people looking to victimize you, your kids. Be careful. Be training. Be strong. Be alert. Exercise situational awareness. That's great to a point. But what if you're exercising situational awareness, and that threat is coming right at you and now engages you? You got to deal with it. So learn how to deal with it. Have a good day. Be safe. Number one asset, another word of advice today, be walking close to God. I want to thank every one of you for tuning in. Thanks for the prayers. All the support, the great cards, everything. God bless every one of you. Stay safe. Be training. Be preparing.